We're back. Another T.A. Mahoney, Tales from the Dark Side. I got one of my weirdo buddies with me today, Captain Brett Norris. What's happening, Brett?
Oh, man. Life's good, buddy.
You know, I got quite a bit I want to talk about, but the first thing, I know you've done one of these before. It was way back, right before the end of the year, I think. But since then, I know, tell us about that Buccaneer Parade.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I want to hear about.
Buccaneer Parade was a good time. I still say the Lightning Parade was a little bit better, a little bit more personable.
Got to do both of them.
But we did both of them, yep.
That's
Anderson
awesome.
put me on the Lightning one. The Buccaneers, I got hired by a buddy of mine and, you know, met the dudes at the ramp. Great people. Had their kids and their wives, and they were drinking plenty. And had my little trolling motor that could keep us in position. So, I mean, we were like front and center. You know, all the big boats out there got to use their anchors.
That's right.
But when it comes to push and shove, we got right out there in front. And Giselle came in front. She was waving at me. I'm like, hey, honey, you know, I'm married, sorry.
Yeah.
And never saw Tom, but I did see her, which was better. You know, saw all the big linemen, threw some of the linemen some beers. They were chugging them, rubbing their bellies and stuff. And you don't realize how big those dudes are.
Oh, yeah.
Until they're next to you, you're like, oh, my God, that's a big man. But it was a great time. And we got on actually the news channel. I had my dad actually called and said, hey, what's that guy doing on the back of your boat? And I said, well, he's peeing. And there it's so tight, there's nowhere to go. So the dude was... We open up the back hatch of the Ranger has a back live well, and we open up that back live well, and if you had to pee, you pretty much laid face down and peed in the live well, which is fine. And but oh man, it was a good old time. A lot of boozed up people and a lot of cleat chasers out there in the smallest bikinis they could find. But it was a good time.
Yeah, it looked like quite a few people. So how you started that? You just got a call from somebody who was like Anderson?
Yeah, they didn't have Anderson didn't call me on this one. This was more like just a random guy said, hey, do you do boat parades? And I said, sure, I'll drive you around, whatever. You know, y'all can drink your face off, and I'll get you in position. And the guy said, you get me close to this player, I'll give you 100. You get me close to this player, I'll give you 200. And I was like, wow. Tell me who you want to get next to.
Profitable
that's
day,
right.
Huh?
And the good thing is about when you go to those big parades and you have a wrapped boat and the cops think you're like professional, which we are.
Pirate's what he is.
Yeah, they don't mess with you. So they're worried about all the ding dongs in there that don't know how to drive a boat.
Was there a bunch of those?
Oh God, yeah.
How many people you think were there on either one of them? Were
I would
they
say
equivalent to the amount of people?
There was a good 500 boats, I would say,
wow,
if not more. And if you know, like
that was during the week.
Wednesday, it was like a spring dawn.
Yeah.
We're doing this on a Wednesday, and people stopped what they were doing. Pretty amazing to see that in Tampa Bay. Like people just like, no, we ain't going to work today.
Yeah, for sure.
Somehow everybody was sick that day, but
Yeah.
then you get caught on the camera, your boss is going to find you.
Well, and how bad can you get in trouble nowadays for going to a Super Bowl party? We don't get them much here in Tampa Bay.
It's only been like 20 years since we had the last one, so
That's
I think
right.
it's a free pass for sure.
Yeah, it looked like a really good time, and I was just wondering about that. How did some guys get picked and some didn't?
Yeah.
But I guess it's who's available.
The Bucks
that
was
day.
more big boats. They were all on big
I
boats
noticed that,
versus
yeah.
like the Lightning. We were on all chartered boats.
Right.
But yeah, the Bucks was all big stuff. Just I don't know if it was because of the COVID situation or what, or just trying to spring something on them and get as many guys on one. But yeah, we saw everybody.
Yeah, it looked like a really good time. And you know something else I'm excited about? Probably here for Tales of the Dark Side, probably in the next week, you're going to see the first of the videos that I'm doing. I'm doing probably about 6 or 8 a year. That's going to come out on Waypoint TV, Apple TV. You can get it on the YouTube channel right off the website, tamahoney.com. But the first one's with Captain Brett. And, you know, it's funny, when I looked at the day we picked to go on that trip, it was probably... I'm not going to tell you the worst day of the year to fish, but it wasn't the best.
No.
And what did we have? Fog? A front came in?
We had fog, we had front, it was cold, and it was rough. And, it wasn't fun, I would say, like when it comes to the fishing part. But the just hanging out part and just seeing what you get to see on a crappy day.
Yeah. Well, and I know for you,
cool.
you get to... Being that you get to fish every day, usually during the week you have several days that are decent days for you. You know,
Yeah.
you hope most of them are, but you always got a couple
You
that
hope
are
the
bad.
nice ones are during the week and not on the weekend. You hope the weekend brings the crappy weather.
Yeah,
And the weekdays are the nice stuff. But lately,
that's what I shoot for.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we try to get out on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday versus that Saturday, Sunday craziness. So
But
Sundays aren't bad though.
yeah, there's no getting it to yourself anymore. It used to be
No.
Mondays, Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go quite a bit here in Tampa Bay, and nowadays there's really no slack day.
No.
It can be the worst day of the week could be Monday as far as traffic and.
And then when you have buddies that call you up and they say, hey, I want to charter on a Thursday. They say, hey, I'm booked. Let me see if I can find you. And you go through your top 10 guys that you would want to put on them, and they're all booked. Like the market is full right now. I mean, everybody's going fishing, which is cool.
Right.
But man, it's every day's a Sunday or Saturday nowadays. So.
And it's just a matter of hitting a bunch of spots. The same thing
Yeah.
we did on that trip. I had a great time. I enjoy, the people I fish with, like yourself and the guy up in, the Chaz, Alfred Hamaker. He's a great guy. I fish with Rubio, fish with Tommy. Those kind of guys that you fish with, it really doesn't matter what the weather's like. And if you really want to see how good somebody is, hire them on one of those days. I know they're
That's
not a
the
fan
grind,
of it,
man.
but
That's the official grind. That's a real life grind is when it's like that. It's challenging, but if you like just the other day, for two days ago, it was blowing like crazy right out of the south. Went to a bar. I was like, you know what? Let me try the spot out, see what's in there. Couldn't see the pothole. You're taking a wild guess off of a palm tree here and a bush here, and you're
Right.
like, well, it's in the middle there somewhere. First 3 baits we hit a triple, with all big redfish too. And I was
yeah, I
like,
saw that. It was real
man.
good fish.
yeah, I knew they were there. Sure.
Yeah. Told y'all we'd catch them.
Yeah, look at that.
That's
but
for sure.
after that, we kind of moved around quite a bit. But yeah, it was good. But that's the grind of a guide, man. We
Well, you even think about that day. If I ask you, would you rather sit at home and do nothing, or would you rather jump in the boat and get poked and prodded by Mahoney? I mean,
yeah, easy, yeah.
called names and made fun of, and
I get
but it gets you on your game too,
See,
because you
for me,
give
it's
it
either
right
get
back.
beat up by 3 kids or beat up by Mahoney. I'll take you every day of the week for sure.
I'm no match for them 3 kids.
No,
That's for
no.
sure.
So you had a couple of them yourself, so you know how it
Oh
goes.
yeah, and it goes quick. I can tell you that. Enjoy every minute of it. I
Yeah.
know that you do.
Absolutely.
What's other kind of stuff are you into on your day off? I noticed you do a little bit of cornhole. Do you think are you
Yeah.
supposed to be pretty good at that, or
No, I'm good to the average Joe, but now that it's ESPN worthy and stuff, I just the more beers I get, the better I get at that game. So you bring me right off the streets, I'm not gonna be any good. But once the Mahoney crap talk comes in and I really start giving it to these guys, and these guys are wearing like earplugs and their jerseys, and you start telling them they're not as good as they think they are,
can
they don't
hear
like
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't like that. So I'd say I'm 90% mental and 10% physical in that game for sure. But so I do I do a little bit of, I wouldn't say a lot, I do like once a week. But I like golfing. I'm a golfer. So cornhole and golf, all the preppy sports. That's what I did in high school.
how do you have time for all that? You're pretty successful guy. I mean, I
Yeah.
know I call you all the time, and you're booked. It's hard to
You
even.
just got to know all the other guys that like to do that too on their day off. Just like today, I had Captain James Beers and Brandon McCorkle, Billy Noble's guy. They're like, hey, it's raining. Let's go golfing. I'm like, dude, you don't golf in the rain. But that's the only days
That's
you
where
got
you
off.
headed?
Yeah. I didn't go there today. No.
You actually
That was a
did
good one,
responsible stuff.
Yeah,
You were telling me you did,
I did,
something with the sandbox.
We got some new pavers coming, so I had to take the whole sandbox out and
Good for you,
yeah, just
Brett.
do the
Brett's a
do
good
the
guy and
honeydews.
a good family guy. If you ever want to go with somebody, I'm telling you, the reason why I spend my time with him is because we catch fish. He knows how to catch them, that's for sure. And you basically work out of that whole St. Pete area.
Yeah, so
I see you over at Anna Maria. That's coming up soon, tarpon season.
yeah, we're pretty pumped about old tarpon season. It's
You ready for it?
Oh man, after you chase redfish and snook around for long enough, you're kind of doing the same thing. You want something different, so come May, you want a tug. You want something that beats you up or beats your clients up, and I am totally cool. Everybody says I never get out of the tower, which I do get out of the tower first of all, but I love seeing people get beat down by tarpon.
Yeah.
Especially guys that never caught one because they don't know how to turn them. A tarpon's like a pretty unique animal where You give him that bubble. We call it the Red Bull bubble. That's 5 more minutes. 5 minutes of fight every time he touches that top of that surface with his mouth. So it's hard to teach a guy how to keep him underwater, but that's the jam. Tarpon season is like what we all live for. Now coming into June, I'll be like, God, I don't want to see another tarpon the rest of the year. But these next 2 months, we're pretty stoked to do it.
Do you have many openings right now for those 2 months of tarpon
Probably
season?
got about 6 openings in the next 2 months, like May and June. I got about 6 left, and some guys will come and some guys will go. So every now and then I do open up here and there.
Sure.
Just to take you
Like
out and watch you do it too. And
yeah, I've been out there riding.
Yeah, you caught one. You got one with me.
Yeah, I've caught more than one. I brought people to catch them with you too.
Oh yeah.
I know that. Sometimes we'll go. That's a long day for you. I know it is because you run doubles. You start at what, 6 in the morning, drop off at noon.
Yeah, we pick up around 5:30 or 6, and then we drop off that first group, like I said, at noon. We pick up. And I usually take like a little lunch break, maybe hit the wharf, something like that, and then pick back up at 3:30 and head out and do the crab tides in the afternoon. And then I'm not home till probably 11:30 at night. And that's not even home. That's like at the marina.
That's great for the relationship.
Yeah. The wife loves that. She can't wait to see me. I just got to remember what my kids look like. But my kids love catching the crabs. So if I take them crabbing, that's like all they want to do, which is great.
That's awesome, man.
They could have tarpon and Goliath grouper, which last year we had a lot of Goliaths coming up, but rolling all around them. But if it's that little tiny crab that they like to dig on, that's their jam.
Is that what you're looking for mainly when you're tarpon fishing? You're using crabs, none of the cut bait or thread
I try to
things?
stay away from the cut baiting, but sometimes the way the bite is, you get in there and you got to try the mix out. So you got to get in there and
maybe coming to this door, they saw your truck, ran the tag.
Yeah, no, they
all
know
them sirens.
Your truck is way prettier than mine. They know your truck way better than mine. So, but tarpon season's a phenomenal time.
How about tackle for tarpon? What are you using?
So this year we're probably going to be running the Bull Bay Brute Forces. And I on the beach, I'll probably stick with, like, when it comes to leader, I stick with this 50 or 60. In the passes, they're not as smart because they're pretty much coming there to eat those crabs. They don't care. We'll run 80 to 100. I mean, it doesn't really matter because they're honed in on those crabs. They don't care what's on it. So
just going crazy.
Yeah. So, and it's not like you go out there and you just start smashing them, just like anything. But you get that power hour and it's game on, and that's all you're waiting for. I always tell people on my trips, it's kind of like having a concert. Like, you don't want to ruin it the first part. You play a good song a little bit, maybe catch a couple here and there, and then you wait for the last one. That's when you play Thunderstruck, AC/DC style, and like, this is it. It's freaking game time.
It's on.
And then that's the jam when it's right. For sure.
Somebody new going out there and maybe trying to tackle that tarpon, they got their own boat. Maybe they got a place somewhere near there. Something I always suggest to them is kind of sit back and watch for a while, because you don't want to disrupt what's there. Y'all may have 25 or 30 boats catching fish and nobody's really getting in the other guy's way. That's what's amazing. They all kind of get in line, and I try to suggest to them to kind of watch what's going on before you go get in the middle of it.
Some people get so excited when other people have fish on that they feel the need to run as fast as they can around that corner, and they're cutting corners there because instead of running 100 yards out, they see 4 dudes hooked up on the inside. Now they're running 30 yards out. Well, you're just going to push those fish around. So it's better off to get way outside of them, and like you said, watch. Like I watch. I don't watch people. I'm watching the water the whole time, and sometimes you watch people, see where they're drifting here and there. But for the most part, you're looking for fish. And the biggest thing about tarpon is being able to set yourself up. Your setup is the key to catching tarpon around here. And I don't care if you're on the bridge or you're at Anna Maria, or on the outside Anna Maria, or if you're at Egmont, Clearwater, wherever. It's all about setup for tarpon.
What's the ultimate setup? What are you looking for when you say setup?
For instance, we'll run a crab tide here. So a crab tide, you're going to have outgoing tides. It's gonna pick up as the tide, you get into the tide, and it's going to slow down at the very, very end. So typically, I'll sit off of an area 300-400 yards, and that's where the fish originally come from. They're not going to go right to the beach. Most of the time, they're going to be out, and they're going to work themselves in to where those crabs are flowing. So all it takes is seeing one tarpon eat a crab on the surface, and then I'm going to go up and I'm going to get 100 yards from him. I'm not going to get 10 yards. I'm not going to see him drop on his head, because you're going to want to run that whole entire drift where you're going to run say when you set up at 100 yards, now you get your crabs on. By the time that tide's pushing you in, you're already 50 yards now away from this fish. You get your crabs out. By the time you actually hit that fish, your crab's going to be about 10 feet underwater, more than likely. And that's where you're going to get most of your bites. And we're doing free lining, we're doing corks. I kind of mix it up as we go. And now they got a new hook that's made by Trocar that a guy's starting to put these little weights on them. And we're going to try that out this year. On the shank of the hook.
Yeah.
I think it's called Skyline Jigs. And I'm going to try some of those out this year. And I've never tried them, so I couldn't tell you if they're great or not. But, I mean, I know Trocar makes a pretty good hook. But we're going to try it out and see if that helps out too. So.
Now, where they normally start out at, they catch them at the bridge, and then they kind of move to the passes. I'm no tarpon fisherman, but I kind of see it as I'm out there fishing. And I would say right about now should be that transition. You should start to see them, I would think, sometime out on Egmont, behind Egmont, Anna Maria, even some of the other passes down south.
Yeah, you're not going to get that big beach push yet, where you're getting all the pods coming down the beach working their way. But you're going to get a lot of residential fish that are coming out of their homes back up in the bay, whether it be in the power plant. I don't know if you've ever been to the power plant.
Oh yeah.
When you're allowed to, but there's
I've been there when you're not allowed to.
Yeah, exactly. I know you have.
If you put the lock off a tiller handle, you run in between the jugs. It'll kick the motor up. You go right over, and you can go to the outflow.
Big cobia is there too.
I've done it. Big cobia are out on the beach right now.
I haven't seen one, but I haven't really been out there that much. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of kingfish, but I haven't seen the cobia like.
Anderson was out with Captain Cody, I think, from Clearwater last week. Caught some nice tuna and got, I think, a 70 or 80 pound cobia out there.
Oh wow!
30 foot of water.
And 30 foot, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's real good. We got a little bit more talking to do. We got through the first segment. I appreciate you coming out today, Brett. And we'll be talking more fishing, tarpon, joking, having fun. We'll be right back. We're back. T.A. Mahoney, Tales from the Dark Side. We got Captain Brett Norris today. We've been talking tarpon, been talking fishing. One of the questions I got, and it comes up a lot in my store and also when I'm on the boats, is the pressure that this area is getting from the new guide, right? But at one time, you were a new guy, right? How did you get to where you're at? It wasn't easy, was it?
No, man. I told myself I'll give myself 3 years to make it work, and the first year was a struggle. It was not easy, because you got all these older guys. I'll mention their names, like a Jamie Goodwin,
ain't showing no
Rob
love.
Gorda.
Yeah, spit them all out. CA, he's got to be in there too, huh?
Yeah, probably so. Now, he kind of stayed on the outside doing his polling stuff, but he left them alone too.
He pets and names them.
That's right. He actually puts the jelly on their back to make sure they're healed up nice.
Right.
But, basically the whole O'Neill's crew, we'll say, because I wasn't a Gandy kind of a guy. And, you come in as a 22-year-old, and they're like, look at this schmuck. What's he doing? But the good thing was, and I will say, Hagman, those guys, all good guys. They're all buddies of mine now, but they all fished Tarpon Key, which was great, because I had to learn that they're not inviting me in to hang out with them.
Oh, they didn't ask you,
They wasn't like, hey, come hang out with us on this 1,000 fish right here. It was like, I got to eat all the stuff on the outside while they take the middle, which was fine. And that's what kind of taught me how to fish in St. Pete, was because, I didn't want
the low-hanging fruit.
I didn't have the rap. I didn't have, the big wig guys on my boat. I just kind of went out and did my own thing. And then, then I started getting invited by, a Mike Anderson to some of these events, and I started putting a couple of hardwares on.
Because you were open, and nobody else was,
right? That's right. Well, there was only, when I first started, I'm not lying, I bet there was, 20 guides in the area. And there might have been more, of course, but, 20 full-time guides in this area.
Wow.
And
what would you say now if you had to guess?
20 times that, yeah.
In that same area.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then plus you got a lot of guys that are good fishermen that are just fishermen. They're not guides. They just have nice boats and they know how to fish.
Those are worse because they just go where they want to and they don't care, do they?
Oh yeah. Well, I just had some guys on the boat, like I said, they came along and they're like, and I'm like, I'm going to take you guys to this place called Candyland when we're done. And I said, where do y'all live? And they said, oh, we're right out of Coquina Key. And I said, maybe I won't go to Candyland today, but I'll show you some other stuff around here to help y'all out. Because, like you said, there's not too many more secrets in here. I got one spot that's really good that nobody fishes. And you might see a mullet guy there here and there. But other than that, nobody
I haven't
fishes
been
it.
there.
No, you haven't been there. You've been close to it. I'll tell you, it's close to when you see this cobia right here, the one that you saw that was 40 pounds bigger than that one.
And you couldn't get
It's
me close enough,
crazy.
and I had to
Oh,
make
God.
that cast.
I mean, you were close enough to hit him in the tail, which was what you did. And we
You know,
still
you
will
wonder
talk about
about
that. We
that.
still will talk about that.
The mistakes.
That was like going to be my guide's dream fish to catch. It was going on the wall. I don't put stuff on the wall, but that sucker was going on the
He
wall.
was huge.
Yeah.
I don't know how big he was. My biggest cobia was 70 pounds. He looked a little bigger than that one.
Oh, yeah.
Longer.
When you told me, no, that was 2 fish, and I'm in the tower, which I normally am, I'm saying that ain't 2 fish. You know he's the man. But they don't get that big.
I couldn't wait. I couldn't stand it. I had to cast before the captain told me to, and I hit it straight in the tail.
We will say he wasn't the most aggressive cobia. Sometimes they're dumb as a rock. You put it next to him, he turns around. He'd been through that game before.
Yeah,
He's probably
I
been
think
hooked before.
He knew your boat.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
Probably so.
He saw that boat.
I didn't know him. It was the first time I met him. So.
Yeah, it was a nice one. That was right up in Tampa Bay in pretty shallow water.
Yeah, he should be about 140 pounds this year. That was like probably 3 years ago. He's only 110.
Steve Brownlee probably already his buoy bumping him and Lou Garcia.
Yeah. The old cobia
or his
legend.
son getting off a day
One
of
of them,
work and coming down and murdering it. And
when you name yourself Cobia Killer on Facebook, you might catch a couple here and there.
You get a few. So if those 3 years didn't work out for you, Brett, what was the next option?
Oh man.
You give yourself 3 years. What'd you have
I'd
as your
probably
backup
be
plan?
in a gutter right now, working for you, like probably in the back, just scrubbing boats or something. I don't know, but I mean,
you'd
like
have had more fun.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I mean, I don't think my mentality could have taken that for as long as we've known each other now. But I don't know what I would have done, to be honest with you.
And that's what I tell people about the industry. It's like myself, the way I feel about it, and it sounds kind of ridiculous if you listen, but it's almost like it picked me. There's people that are out there in this industry, they pick, and we've all seen it. They go from a businessman to a salty Saul, a couple saltwater tattoos and a beard and unshaven with a hook bathing suit on and salt life shoes, and you're a guide, right?
Yeah.
But I think that the guys that I interact with and some of the people, the Mark Feewalkses, where are you going to go? Where's Mark Feewalks going to go work for somebody? Big old monster with long hair. Everybody's intimidated,
That's the
right?
biggest surfer
He's got to be
He's the biggest surfer you know.
Big surfer. 80s rock band, still jamming.
I seen him the other day out there in the middle
Mark's
of
a
Passive
good
Grill, anchored up, and I'm like, what is this dude doing with this big old boat in the middle of Passive Grill? But maybe he's got a secret we don't know about. But Mark, your secret's out, brother. I seen you.
Middle of the channel.
I know where your Key West grunts are at now, buddy.
Yeah, he gets, there's no telling, but I'll tell you what, you take note if you see him anchored up somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
He may have been sitting there listening to the stereo system with
No, he had clients fishing. Yeah, he was fishing.
If I had to guess, I'd say he was real close to a lot of mackerel, because that's what he's been catching on some of those short trips.
That could have been, yeah. Plus, the weather's been a little bit iffy, so I'm sure some of them days you can't get out there and you get the right group that just wants action, I'm sure.
Yeah,
He could have been
somebody
doing that.
from
But it
Minnesota.
looked like there was some bottom fishing going on, so if he's got a little secret grouper hole in the middle there,
Probably sea bass or
it ain't
something.
no secret no more, yeah.
He gets that 4-hour charter and goes to the honey hole,
Yeah.
thinking nobody's around. Pick them up late, get them back early, no one will see
Get
me.
his 10 dozen shrimp.
Hear
and
that, Mark?
Get
We got
paid.
them out there keeping their eyes open for you.
You can't hide around here anymore.
Got
Got that big old bumper sticker on the side of your boat, the Mark and Fish, and you want to be popular on Facebook now. I found you.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I'll tell you something about that boat. Have you been on that boat before?
No, but it looks like a beast.
Man, he put that bracket on the back and filled that transom in, took that portable live well and put one in the transom, and I bet he gained 2 feet
Yeah,
back
it's big.
there. And offshore, that's a pretty good platform
I'm
right
a
there.
big proponent of having like big live wells, and mine on my boat right now is actually not as big as what I want. I like to stuff that sucker so full and be able to chum them fish as hard as I can to get them right.
When he tells you stuff them full. I mean, stuff them full. Not like your stuff them full. His stuff them full is thousands of baits. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way you get them to hit. Do you ever save that bait for the next day, or you just let it go?
Most of the time, you leave them in your live well long enough, you can put them in a pen and they'll be all right, but they just don't have that wiggle that you need the next morning
That
typically.
fresh one.
So, you know, when I go out and catch bait for a charter the day before, I mean, I catch it and I run it straight back, and I try to keep it out of the net as much as I can, and then it's fine. But yeah, you keep it all day long, you know. Especially you start getting a little bit of seagrass and whatnot inside your strainers. It starts blowing more bubbles than you want it to. It beats them up even more, and they just die eventually. But it keeps the fish on your dock happy, which is good.
That's for sure. I've gotten bait. I've headed offshore and met Brett before, and I'll never forget. I had a buddy of mine named Cy on there who was a NFL football player. He's 6'7" and 500 pounds of rock. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. He's 50 years old and just a good guy, and we were fishing with him. Super strong. 4 of us. 4 people to pull this net over the side of the boat.
That was an ultimate meat shot.
Yeah.
When I got that net and I hit it that first time with the thing, and I said, nope, I saw that dude in your boat, and I was like, his biceps were like my head, and I was like, we're going to give this guy
We could barely get it in the boat.
You give this guy. I'm surprised it didn't blow the net out. I mean, I think you turned that 12-foot net into a 15-footer about the stretch it did.
That's one of them custom nets. You've been throwing them imports for too long.
But even the biggest meat shot can whack a custom net. I don't care what it is.
You're right about that.
Unless it's made of Power Pro.
I'll tell you how much was in there. We filled 80 gallons of live wells black, and we had 2 5-gallon buckets slap full, with a third one about half full.
And that was the second cast after I was
you'd been
already
out
full.
there.
Yeah. Now that little secret got kind of figured out quick. Like bait's a secret around here too. If you can find a good pole or something that holds them pretty good, but
and don't
you
tell
put that
them
meat
guys
on there and somebody comes by and they see you're struggling. Good luck. The rest of them gonna come.
Here they come.
And that spot got done quick, but there's still bait out there on it. But yeah, bait's actually been kind of a little bit tougher than normal lately, but.
Well, you know, springtime it always has been. I know y'all have been catching bait for many years, all year long, really, at the Skyway. But it kind of thins out a little bit over there at the Skyway.
Yeah, this time of year, it gets off the Skyway and kind of runs up into the bay, and that's when you're going to catch it on the flats most of the time. You know, that water hits around 75. They like being on the flats, but we got a lot of that snot grass on the flat too, so you're going to get your boat dirty. But if you can find a flat that doesn't have all that snot grass and is holding the bait, it's great. You know, it's 2 throws and you're done. But
I had one of my guys out in your neck of the woods the other day, and of course this won't come out for probably about a week, so we're safe telling them where it was at. But you know the spot we I won't say what we did there because that may give something away, but the little rest area there.
Oh yeah, rest area holds some fish.
Holds bait.
A lot of bait. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Doug went over there the other day. He said 1 throw, he whacked it.
Yeah, that's why I know Doug's struggling is when he calls me randomly. He's like, "Hey man, where's the bait at?" And I'm like,
"Is that what he did?"
You know, every now and then he does.
Did you send him over there?
I sent him to the B spot, which is still holds bait.
Sure.
But now the rest area, you're gonna go there and typically you're gonna have to chum it. And chumming works a lot better over there, but sometimes it gets so dang thick that you don't have to. But I was there just 2 days ago, just looking around. I didn't see it thick, but the guys that were chumming it were catching it. But basically, when you're looking for bait, I just look for the pelicans. Find a pelican that's diving high, 20 foot in the air, 10 foot in the air. He's coming up. You know, when a pelican eats, he drives down, throws it back in his mouth real quick. That typically means, as you probably know, that the bait's a little bit bigger. He's trying to get it down his gullet a lot faster. If he's sitting in the water holding it and spraying the water out the sides, it's normally that small bait because he's trying to concentrate
that water, and get that small bait in. That's a great tip right there because that's exactly what you look for. You see that pelican, flip that head back, you know it's the bait
right
you
size.
want.
Yeah, it's what you want.
It's time to go through.
And we got enough dang pelicans around here nowadays, and cormorants and everything else that you can follow some birds around. There's as much as we hate them on guided trips and stuff because they get all up in your spread. You still need them.
You still need them.
Now the cormorants we don't need. We need a season on those, but the pelicans, they can hang around. They're too dumb to know.
And I'll tell you something else I learned from you on that one trip is moving that bait just a little bit, and it worked.
It does.
You know, I mean, they may eventually, some of those things get so aggressive you're going to lose bait, but when you look at a full day, and instead of moving that bait 3 feet,
people always want to jerk it. Always. They're like,
that's
"Dang,
exactly.
bird." But in reality, like I told you last time, they hone in on about a little nugget about this big. And if it moves right here, they can't get it. They got
That's
wings.
right.
They're not floating out there. They got to
And the
fly.
mouth is small.
Exactly.
It's usually not a pelican diving on you either when you're out there chumming.
No. It's the terns and seagulls and all that other stuff. Now the cormorant, you're not gonna get away from. He's just gonna follow you around and blow bubbles around your boat all day, which is what they've been doing. But the seagulls you can fight off.
They can be a pain a little bit. I got another question for you. For a new guide coming up in the business, for some of the people that want to be that guide, and you see them at the ramp and you talk to them, what's the best bit of advice can you give them to be successful?
And like I said, with all my guys, I mean, now that I know my clients for so long, I can give it to them a little bit. I can really yell at them. I wouldn't say yell at them, but I joke around with them a lot.
With the ones you know can take
you want to
right?
make sure you're just feel everybody out on your boat. Know what they like. If they're a hardcore fisherman, treat them like a hardcore fisherman. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go trophy hunting, and if we don't catch a bunch, this is what we're doing. And the other guys, where they bring their kids out, you want to catch fish. Don't matter if he's this big or this big. It's about keeping people happy. It's an entertainment industry, honestly. And then you just happen to be catching fish along the way. But just honestly, working hard is huge for an up-and-coming client. Like, even if you have to stay out an extra 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever, you want to make sure that these guys are going to come back with you every single time and not ever leave you.
Right.
And you go out and sit in one spot, I hear that from people all the time, like, oh, I went with so-and-so, and we sat in this little island for 4 hours. Don't be like that. Like, move around. At least show that you're trying.
That's right.
Even if the bite sucks. I mean, it's going to suck sometimes. It's just fishing. You're not going to go out there and whack them every day. It's just hard work. And then honestly, respecting all the other people on the water is huge too. If you treat other guides, well, they're going to treat you well. They're going to give you business, and then you're going to start getting hired for these group events. You're going to start meeting people from these group events. They're going to start booking you. They're going to tell their friends about you, and that's kind of how you grapevine your business to being big. It's just getting your name out there, getting your face out there. And,
do you? How long have you been guiding?
I started when I was 21, I got my license when I was 18, full-time 21. So I'm 38 now, so 17 years, almost 18 years now.
18 years.
Yeah.
Does it? Do you have to work any less today to be successful than you did 18 years ago?
I'd say you work a little bit less than what I did, because I know a lot of my guys. I know what they want to do. So I know when I'm coming into a trip, I'm like, this is what this guy likes to do, and this is what we're going to do. Where when you don't know anybody, you're kind of like, I better smash these fish or I'm going to look bad.
So what goes through the peanut when I call you and go, hey, I want to go fishing?
You're that kind of guy that wants to sit on that one island for 2 hours and just hang out.
For the monster.
Yeah, just hang out. Like, let me just see what we can do. And then, like I said, you're going to give it to me the whole time we're fishing, which is fine. And I let you catch a couple of them. I've let you beat me before. Like, legitimately, Mike Mahoney on record has beat me.
I can't remember
one time before.
Maybe when I grabbed the cobia rod and got that snook in the boat.
No, I wanted to beat you that day. But, yeah, we have fun.
That was the best line I've ever given anybody. You know that when I landed that fish, I looked at him and my other buddy and said, there's only 2 people in this world that could have caught that snook, and you ain't one of them.
And I still don't know who the other person is.
Ed Williams, Two-Lure Ed.
Oh, okay.
Two-Lure Ed,
that's a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah, because
credit.
Ed's a meat fisherman. But I tell you what, I know for sure, Two-Lure Ed, when he came up by the pile and he was done, I was still moving. That's what got that fish back.
Yeah, something like that. That's a trained animal. That's the dumb
I'll tell you what happened.
That was a good one, though.
I lucked out.
And I saw one there the other day again that I didn't catch him, but I wasn't fishing, of course. But
man, maybe I'll have to swing over there.
Swing on over there. There's one that needs to little catch and grill. What do they call it? Yeah, a little catch and grill.
Shore lunch.
Yeah.
We could have a shore lunch over there by the
Skyway. My little Magna or whatever it is, the little Magna grill. We can cook right in that dock's backyard.
That's right.
Invite the owners, and you're fine with them, and you can fish it whenever you want. But yeah, that was a good one. He's 37, 38.
Yep.
You'll call him 40, but I think he was 37, 38. But he was not anything that big is a good fish around
Trophy.
here.
You get into Tampa Bay, anything 38 and up, I would consider a
100%.
trophy. You know, you always want to get that 40-incher just to be in that club. That's the number. But I'll tell you what, I've caught some nice 38s.
Oh, big old fat ones.
Big, thick head.
Uh-huh.
That's for sure. Back when you could keep them, too. They're good to eat. Don't let people tell you that the big ones ain't good to eat, because they are. I had a guy tell me one time, yeah, them big ones don't taste very good. And I said, yeah, if I didn't catch them, I'd say that too.
Now, I don't think a snook goes bad.
No.
But I think a redfish and the drum family, the bigger they get, I think they get.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But I've never eaten like a 35-inch redfish.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure Louisiana they keep them.
Oh, yeah. They get mad at you if you throw legal fish back. And I'm not going to fight one of them Cajuns. I'm going to tell you that.
The best thing about those guys is they don't even measure them. They're like, put them in a box. I'm like, dude, there's no way all them fish are under 27. There's no way. And there'll be like 20 of them.
And you can keep the guides limit there, too. And
you keep everything.
Yeah, it's awesome. They got a different fishery there. We've both been there. I know you've enjoyed it up there. You're doing that tournament fishing. We can get into some of that. What fires you up about the tournament fishing?
Competition still runs high in here, man. It's not like it used to be where I was good back in the day where we win them all. Nowadays it's like everybody else is good too. I like to fish when nobody else was any good.
It's fun when you fish against.
It's much cooler when you're winning. But nowadays, man, we're in a little slump. So I felt like this year was going to be our year, and then COVID hit, so it blocked me. And so now I got to wait another 10 years to get good again. But
now y'all fish this year, right? You went.
Yeah, we fished the Power Pole.
Yeah.
Go Live tournament. Cool tournament.
Yeah.
I like it better than actually getting the 27 because your fish is your fish. It's either 8 pounds or it's not. It's got to be, any fish under 8 pounds is kind of how those tournaments work. So you don't got people like shaving their tails off. You don't got them smashing their face against the side of the boat.
I feel like you're talking about me. Are you directing that towards me?
There's probably like a couple teams just like you, but no, we're probably one of them. Those days are over, maybe. No, like I said, that 8 pounds, you have their scale. You put them on their scale. Now, you can let them hang out a little bit and take a couple drips off, but typically when you put him on that scale, he's done. You get one-time limit. So, and it don't have to be a keeper, which is great. You can have a 31-inch skinny as hell fish, and he can put you in the promised land.
Now, is that a one tournament circuit?
No, they got a bunch of them. They got here, Louisiana, Jacksonville, Steinhatchee, Texas.
So you just fished the one.
So I just fished the West Coast ones,
and
if once the kids get out of school and stuff like that, we'll start traveling to Louisiana and start doing that again because a lot of these big tournaments got canceled. So we're not fishing them right now just because you can't. So we're waiting for. I think there's a Redfish World Series that's about to start. I want to say they had something go down with theirs too. So. We just gotta keep our eye out. It's just something to do different where, and a lot of it's just like you said when you go out with your buddies. You're going out with your buddies.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fun. And the best part about it is typically, honestly, being in, like, the place, like, whether you're on the water or not, the place you're staying with all your dudes, and you're meeting these guys from the podunks of Louisiana. You're like, oh, my God, these people actually exist. And those are some of the funniest people you'll ever meet in your life.
Yeah, good people, too.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the friendliest can be, man. But, God, they got some stories. Like, they are storytellers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I got quite a few friends I'm looking forward to it. I'm going up there in early June and spending a week with Osprey Charters, another good guy.
Mm-hmm. You've done well with them.
Yeah, James is a great guy, and Paradise, they're good people over there, too. Hunter Caballero. I called James up. He was available 7 days, and that's who I'll be sitting with. Yellowfin with triples. And
yeah, that's nice. See, that's what the good thing about doing that versus what I do is when we go somewhere, you like me going there because you know I'm going to break something. 100%. I'm going to run that dang shoal water hard.
Oh, yeah.
And we're either going to
coming to the shop.
We're going to hit it. We're going to hit something throughout that day. And I've even put people from that area on my boat, and I still hit something. But
that's a great boat. If you ever want to go out in a really skinny boat, give Captain Brett Norris a call. Mm-hmm. That shoal water. He also runs a Ranger Bay boat. Awesome boat with a tower. Great fisherman. I appreciate you coming out tonight.
Yeah, buddy. We'll do it again for sure. Anytime.
Y'all keep a lookout now for that show me and Brett did, Tales from the Dark Side. It'll be coming out within a week. It'll be on Waypoint TV and Apple TV. Our website, YouTube channel, tamahoney.com, wherever you can, it'll be on. It's pretty neat. We had a good time. We'll see y'all next time.